Okay, good morning, class. We are going to be starting painting the design that you created for your abstract letter and design painting, okay? So you're starting this once you have your value scale complete, okay, which is already due, past due at this point, okay? And you submitted this in Canvas. And you've taken your blank sheet of paper that you either picked up from class, got it in your kit, or picked up from the front desk, and you drew your designs on it per the modules that says abstract letter design sketch, okay? So it has a combination of circles, diagonal, squares, okay? You're going to be using the colors here that you chose, hopefully they're correct, 2 complementary colors and 1 third color, okay? And you're going to be putting them in different locations here, okay? The reason why these are all divided up and overlapping is because you're making spaces in between here, closed spaces where there's going to be different tints and shades on here, okay? I'll show you what to do. If you have too many areas, we discussed this, that are like too small. For example, this little area right here will need to be a tint or a shade of your 3 colors, and it's very small. So if I wanted to, I'm going to erase that line. I just don't want to have that because right now then this will be a different tint or shade. I don't need to divide it up into these little small areas. So if you have too many small areas like that, for example here, you can go ahead and erase 1 or 2 of those lines because it's going to get confusing when you put the paint in there. Okay. The majority of this, I want you to focus on your tints, so the upper portion of your value scale. Now you only have 3 here, but you're going to be able to do a lot more tints here. You'll only want to have a few of your darkest colors, and you also want to include the 3 colors that you chose that do not have tints or shades on them, okay? You can apply them randomly, or you can choose where you're going to put them. You might, if you want to put your, divide it up and put your, tints on different spots in different squares, or if you want to make a pattern out of it, that's up to you. I kind of just do it randomly. Always better to start with your tints or your pure colors first. Okay, save the shades for just putting different contrasting colors around there. Okay, so first you want to do is, I'm going to make my yellow green. Okay, I'll just start with my yellow green first. Since I'm starting with my tints first, it's okay to make a little bit more because I'm going to just add white next to it. So this would match that color there, okay, my yellow green. So on this one, I did get pretty light on here, but you can even go lighter, okay, and you can go brighter. So even though I have 3, you might be able to get like 10 different tints from your yellow green and all 3 of your colors. So I'm just going to start really light first. Everywhere, every color that you make, try to put it down at least twice because you can work that color around and you might not work that same color again. This is where it's going to become important, where you're putting 2 coats down, okay? So this is our first real painting, so you want to be careful of neatness, staying in the lines. Again, we divided up these, so do not just paint this whole circle one color. This is going to be a different tint or shade. This is going to be a different tint or shade. This can be a different tint or shade based on your 3 colors. Some people divide this whole thing up and then they just ignore that fact. So in between here, I'm going to stay in my lines. 2 coats. I'm going to let it dry and then do another coat. So I'm going to put that color there. And then I might put it here. I gave everybody 2 paintbrushes. One was a flat and one was a pointy one. Depending on how small your spaces are and how small and the width size of your brush, I gave everybody all I have. So I don't have any more paintbrushes really to give anybody else. But you might want to alternate. If your pointy brush works better, then use your pointy brush or use both, okay? So now I'm going to make a different tint, a little bit darker. So I'm just going to take more of this yellow green that I made. I'm going to put it in my white here. And make it just a little bit darker. And I'm going to take this color here and I'm going to put it in this area here. I want to stay in the lines. Make sure your brush is not too wet. Make sure you dried it off. And it's going to stop right there where the division is, because these colors, remember, each little section, enclosed section, is going to be a different tint or shade, okay? So I don't want to cross those lines. Okay. I'm going to put that one more else in just a small little area here. I'll put it in this little area. Okay, I'm gonna, for the purposes of this video, I probably would go on, I might put like just a pure green color somewhere. I'll put that down really quick, and then I'm gonna go to my red violet. So I'm choosing, you want it to kind of move around your paper, so you don't want to put them all in the same spot, unless that's your plan for some reason, but you want to move it around and kind of put your colors around your design, okay? So this is my pure color without a tint or shade. Always paint in the same direction so that you can get it as smooth as possible. Okay. I'll make my red violet. So I'm making this color now, and I'm going to put it here. So what I like to do for mine, I try to match up my lightest areas with the lightest areas of some of the other colors, and then the darkest areas with some of the darkest colors. You don't have to do that, but it creates this kind of vibrancy when you're painting that I like. And you can play around, you can see how light this one is, okay? And then you can give yourself enough space so that you can go really add a lot more color in it when you switch, when you start adding more, make the tints a little bit brighter. And I'm trying to stay in those lines. That's why you have to have the enclosed areas. If you have any open spaces and you're not sure where to put the paint, you're going to need to add a line onto it. So for example, this one stops right here, and I don't want to get it on that curve. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more to my tints. You can tell I have a lot of water on that brush. I'm going to dry it one more time. Make sure you're always drying it. Touch it to your skin. This one looks a little similar to this one, so I'm going to put it next to that one. You just want to go slow with it, be neat, drag down when you're trying to get your edges neat. Two coats of paint. If you run out of your color before you're able to put it down twice, don't worry about it. But you do want to have a variety of tints and shades on here, so I can't stress that enough, that you're not just putting just the 3 tints down and the 3 shades. The majority, you want to have a big variety of tints in this painting. Okay, so the majority should be tints, very little shades.
Good morning. There is a tan Toyota in the parking lot with plate number that starts with KUB. The lights are on.
Sorry about that. Okay, kind of like a puzzle that you're doing different tints and shades on there. Okay. I'm going to put the pure color. So this is just my red violet, which is here. Okay, and I'm going to put it here. Okay, so there's no tints or shades in this one. want to keep turning your paper. I got a little bit over that edge, but I can cover it up when I do that color there. The more coats you put on, the brighter it's going to be, and the more flat, hopefully, it will be. It doesn't matter if you recognize the letters or numbers when you're done, okay? Because we're making this abstracted. They're not supposed to stand out. They're supposed to be become less apparent and become more of a design on there, okay? One more color. I'm going to turn it around here. One here. Here's the Right, that's why you want to be careful with your too many smaller edges. Like if this was, excuse me, much smaller, I don't think I'd be able to get my paintbrush in there. So that's why you want to make sure that if you have any really, really too small lines, that you fix them. So this one I would probably go back. I need to do a second coat on that one, but I'm going to just go to my blue just so to give you guys a little understanding of what all three colors look like on there. If you picked a primary color for one of your colors, it's much easier because you don't have to do much mixing with it besides making your tint and shades. Blue because this is one of my tints, okay? And so I'm putting it here. So my line for the crossover, I erased that one, so I'm going to bring it right to this line here. Okay. So that's what you're going to be doing with your different tints and shades. I will do like a short little demo in class, but this is just to help you guys so you can see the colors on there, okay? This and this, okay? And you're just going to fill the whole thing with it. It has to be 2 coats on each one. You want to be neat, stay in the lines. You want to try to make sure your paint is flat, okay? You can see where it gets a little bit streaky. You're going to add a second coat on there, okay? You're going to do it till you finish everything up. You want to try to have the majority as light as you can staying in the tints. I didn't even put shades on there yet, but I'll try to finish this and you guys can see the end product. Once I'm done, I'll post it. So good luck. If you have any questions, email me or put it in the chat.